Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a closer look at Kentucky Derby contender West Saratoga. This would be a feel-good story. An $11,000 yearling turned graded stakes winning 2-year-old at Churchill Downs, and he's coming into the Derby off a runner-up effort with his career best Beyer speed figure in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, albeit on the synthetic surface. Let's take a closer look at West Saratoga's race 2 starts back. The Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay Downs, where he was 31-1. He kind of mid-moved into a mild pace, and he flattens out just a little bit to run third.
Yeah, this is not one of the stronger Derby prep races. And listen, Dan, ultimately not a particularly good performance from West Saratoga either. He is going to last for third here at a big price, but he was up close to a really slow pace there. And he just really wasn't even close to good enough, earning a 70 Beyer speed figure that day. He did run better in his next start, but as you pointed out, that was on a totally different surface.
It was on the synthetic, and one has to wonder if maybe that'll be a preferred surface for him down the road. But he is a graded stakes winner on dirt at Churchill, winning the Iroquois, going a one-turn mile. I thought he got a pretty decent setup from off the pace in that race.
Yeah, he did. He had a really, really good trip in that Iroquois. And that's one of those 2-year-old races, even though it's a nice graded stakes win for this horse, it hasn't turned out to be a particularly strong race either, Dan. He ran really well that day. He's run a few times since then, and his form just hasn't really picked up all that much as a 3-year-old.
I do like that this horse is battle tested. He has raced 10 times in his career, and I do like he has 3 preps coming into this race, so he should have foundation. They started him back going 7/8 at Tampa, and he ran into a very good sprinter, one-turn type in Bookham Dano, a horse that got just nipped in the wire in the Saudi Derby by Forever Young, who will be one of the choices in the Kentucky Derby. It's just that the Sam F. Davis we saw, he didn't have any late punch, and the Jeff Ruby was on synthetic with a light figure. And I guess if you were going to take a horse coming off synthetic in the Derby, it's endlessly if he runs there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, he's a difficult horse, West Saratoga is, to make, a legitimate case for. We've seen, some really tough to like horses win the Derby in the past, and he would certainly be one of those. I guess one of the things that he does have going for him, you've pointed out, he's a graded stakes winner at Churchill. That's a good thing. He won that race, that Iroquois, from, sitting off of a very fast pace and making a run. He won his start prior to that on the early lead. So he's very versatile. He can get any kind of a trip in a race, and he's just going to have to, he's one of the horses, there are a bunch of them, who's going to have to take a big step forward in the Derby.
But that is a very good point. He is tactical enough where if he gets out of the gate, which is a big ask in a 20-horse field, he can find a good position in the early part of the race. Pedigree standpoint, he's by exaggerator from the family of Wickedly Perfect, who won the Grade 1 Alcibiades. I think I still have some concerns about 1.25 miles with him.
Yeah, I think that you're right to have those concerns. We'll see what ultimately happens. But he's the kind of horse though where, pedigree, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. This horse is going to be a huge price in the race, and if you could find anything to hold on to with this horse, and you want to try to get him in there somewhere, have at it.
West Saratoga comes into the Kentucky Derby. He's going to be a big price for Jesus Castanon, Larry Demerit. 85 Beyer speed figure last time out. That's a career best. It was in the Jeff Ruby Stakes.